Hello everyone, this is Christy Villanueva with the West San Antonio Chamber of Commerce, and this is a special series that we are filming for the Chamber related to the coronavirus and all the intricacies that are going into it. This video series is good for both business owners, our leaders, and folks in our community, whether you're in the workforce or not in the workforce. So we thank you for joining us once again, and today our guest is Adrian Lopez of Workforce Solutions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here and allowing us to come into your office.
Yes, definitely. One, I appreciate the opportunity to be on this platform. Obviously, we want to provide as much information to the public, and so we're taking advantage of every opportunity. So thank you so much for doing this public service.
Now, it's really interesting. I mean, your office is still open for business.
Sure.
And do you hope that that continues at least for a little longer?
Absolutely. We are still open. We've made a conscious decision and developed plans to be able to, one, try to balance the health and safety of our clients as well as our staff, but also balance that against the needs of our community, including clients and businesses. You know, use our phone services or use our online services to be able to receive whatever you know, kind of services you're requesting.
Okay. So just for the folks that maybe aren't familiar with your services, I know you have many, but can you just give us a highlight of what they might be? Sure.
So of course, Workforce Solutions, Alamo, is one of the 28 workforce boards that exist in Texas. We were designated by the governor back in basically the mid-90s. So Texas Workforce Commission is our funding agency. We receive our dollars, mostly dollars coming from the Department of Labor and Health and Human Services. So I run a $100 million organization that provides not only employment services, but also you know, job readiness, placement services, training. You know, we don't provide the training, but we finance the training. So we partner with Alamo colleges and other training providers to meet the demands of demand occupations, which is really our focus. But we also are coming into our centers that do not have access to, example, a computer or internet access. We have 16 centers throughout the 13 county region. And we provide, you know, comprehensive, you know, workforce services as well as wraparound services. So not only are we going to support clients that are looking for jobs in terms of, you know, training and upskilling them and increasing their educational attainment, but also offering the opportunity that if they need a bus pass or transportation or clothing or those things to actually perform the job once they are placed, we provide those types of wraparound services.
That's wonderful. That's a huge added value. I want to address those that don't have access to a computer or maybe are not as computer literate but need to work. Maybe they only speak Spanish. Now they are still able to apply. Is it by phone or in person or both?
It's actually you know, by phone or in person. You know, if people don't have access to our centers, you know, but have access to a computer and internet service, we would advise them to apply and or sign up and work in Texas. You know, but they also can call if they have difficulty with trying to navigate through that. We have a, you know, a hotline basically where people would be you know, channeled to the right workforce center and have somebody call them back. We have been changing up a little bit of our website to be responsive, especially under this crisis situation.
I can't get as far as your center, but I have an H-E-B 2 blocks away from me, or a UPS store. I can use that facility to send the information for you. Correct.
Yeah, now's the time to be as innovative and creative as possible. We also are trying to be responsive from our end, from the perspective that there are some forms that need to be filled out. We're looking at making those all electronic. So even if you have a simple email, where we could send you a document of DocuSign, right, and you would be able to sort of electronically sign that, so that it makes it easier for folks that may have some barriers to either even getting, for that matter, to an HEB, and still be able to provide the service and get them the paperwork. So we're kind of going through all sorts of changes to be responsive to what's happening right now.
That's wonderful. And earlier I asked you about some of those disqualification things that might prevent someone from applying, but realistically, you're receiving information almost by the moment. So every hour things could change. So someone that might not qualify previously, maybe they had an experience a year ago or 5 years ago. Today they should apply no matter what.
The governor and the Texas Workforce Commission relaxed the rules, for example, for people who are on SNAP or choice benefits. Given the circumstances. That's not on a permanent basis, but it's a good opportunity for people to, at least if they need help and if they need services, if they're getting laid off from their job, they need, you have some services that they can reach out to. How they qualify and whether they qualify, we can make that determination, but it would be a tragedy for them not to reach out to us, on the fear that maybe they don't qualify or they didn't previously qualify. We're here to serve, and that's what I want to emphasize to our public.
No, absolutely. And the good thing is many of your centers are actually along a via route.
Correct.
So what if an employer says, well, I don't know how to, I've got temporary jobs. I have 50, 100. I've got many slots available. How do I get that information to you?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that question, right? Because sometimes people tend to think about we're just serving the clients, right? People who are the job seekers. But we do provide services on the employer side just as well. Employers, we would encourage employers to, call us, and we would help them with their postings and work in Texas. And we can use that platform to be able to provide matches with their job requirements and job descriptions with people who are qualified to be able to fit those positions. Despite the fact that, yes, we are going to see probably some significant layoffs in some industries, we probably will see an uptick in other industries. And so this, intersection of where we are today is really about providing information to our employers as well as to clients and making sure that we're matching that. And so it's going to be key as we move forward to make sure that we're utilizing our website tools, our social media, and then whatever else that we're, we have at our disposal to make sure that we're matching those two in terms of the employer needs. And so we do have a business service rep team that meets the needs of our existing employers. We also work with others who are potentially looking to locate within our region. There's several leads for major manufacturers that we're working on. That's all sort of at this moment, up in the air because we don't know what's going to happen. But for existing employers, we do have a whole menu of services just as well. We want to make sure that if their position or they're thinking about expanding, or if they can't meet their employment needs, that we're here as a resource, and that we can match our business service, our business rep services, along with our case management services, and use effectively the database that we have to be able to marry that together.
That's a great extension and less work that the employers have to do.
Absolutely.
You're here to definitely help them. Well, tell us about the information that you've been hearing as it comes in from the federal level.
Sure.
I mean, what do we have to possibly expect?
Yeah, so there's a lot of confusion. We're getting information. It's kind of these little drops of information. But if we look at what happened historically when we're in these types of situations, the most recent example was in 2008 when we had the housing crisis.
Yes.
Of course, many people lost their jobs. Their livelihoods were at stake. The federal government responded in large stimulus funding. Mm-hmm. There's already discussions, or if chambers can tell us, here's what we think the need is going to be, and we can back that up by data, then we can be prepared for when those dollars come in and be able to shift and be extremely responsive to what the needs are in the community.
Absolutely. That's so wonderful to hear that you're willing to hear the data and then contribute and pivot to what the community needs, especially here in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. We know that our cybersecurity industry is growing. Yeah. We know that there's some other things, so we need that training to come into play to at least get these folks started. If they're starting at ground zero, we want to make sure that we get them in the right place.
Yeah, and when it comes to crisis situations like this, I mean, I know it's difficult for families and for people to lose their jobs, but I would encourage them not to be discouraged, mm-hmm. because there's also opportunity that presents itself. So, for example, if somebody was in the either retail industry or hospitality or food industry, if they wanted to make a shift, potentially mm-hmm. we're probably going to get the additional fundings for that to be able to put people into targeted industries, such as cyber security or manufacturing or construction or whatever it may be, mm-hmm. where they end up having not just a job but an overall career they can depend on moving forward in the future.
That's fantastic.
If the employers wanted to play a role in that, which we have many employers that are very active in that process. And so we have, for example, a work experience program. So, so if an employer has a need and they're willing to provide somebody an opportunity that may not have all of the skill set, but may have the attributes, for example, a good work ethic, that they have a great attitude, they get to work on time.
Excellent customer service.
All of that stuff, right? Because that's important. Sometimes we look too quickly to people's technical skills and don't look at some of the core competencies that really make up a good employee.
Yes.
So we offer the work experience program, and so we will pay for that person to be placed in an employer for a certain period of time, and the employer then can make a determination about whether that's somebody that they would like to hire full time. At which point then, they make that determination, and either that works out or it doesn't work out, and at least it sort of gives an opportunity for a client to say, well, I tried this out, probably didn't work out, maybe I can do something else.
In a time of need like this, in crisis, this actually seems like a really great opportunity, and more doors could be opened up to more people in our community that maybe never had that before.
Correct.
So I love that. Thank you so much, Adrian, for joining us, allowing us to come into your office. We're going to continue to share this information with our community and let them know that this is a fantastic opportunity for them, for their families.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the work that you all are doing with the Chamber, and you all are crucial to our work just as well, because we don't do this work by ourselves, and San Antonio's always been a really great collaborative community, and we definitely are going to need to depend on that as we move forward.
And again, this is part of a series that we have related to the coronavirus and everything that's going on in the community. So we hope that you'll continue joining us as we move forward in this series, and definitely check our social media at West SA Chamber.
Thank you very much for watching today's video. We hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please give us a like and share it with your network. And if you've got a question or a topic you'd like to suggest, leave us a note in the comment section. This channel is our newest way of connecting with the business community, So if you're a small business owner or entrepreneur, be sure to subscribe. Hope you have a great day and stay safe. Until next time.